Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina y el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I am your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination in the entire world. Maybe it's even yours, and it's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the La Palapa group of restaurants, and those are the La Palapa, the El Dorado restaurant, and at night, for dinner, the El Dorado transforms into the ever-so-romantic Vista Grill, with the dramatic views of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in just such beautiful colors. Of course, at La Palapa, you can enjoy that same view of the Los Muertos Pier all day long for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's just so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. Today, we're going to be talking with two great couples who are working shoulder to shoulder, building businesses here in paradise. But before we get to them, let's see what's happening in Puerto Vallarta this week, the 4th of October, 2017. Well, the rainy season has been wet all right. It's just rain, rain, and more rain in Puerto Vallarta. And we're still getting a lot of rain with above average rainfall this year, and the locals are getting restless for things to dry out around here, right? I mean, remember, it's hot and humid, okay? The rain doesn't mean that it's cold. It's hot and humid with afternoon and evening thunderstorms. And these thunderstorms are what we would consider gully washers, to be more exact. So things are going to actually begin to get a little bit better as far as rainfall is concerned for vacationers. And the rain will begin to taper off this month, and then less rain in November, and then it's off to the winter dry season during the high season. Now, last week, I talked about the many fundraisers around Puerto Vallarta in support of Mexico's earthquake relief effort. And I told you about the event that was being planned over at Act 2, Danny Menini's place in the Romantic Zone. Well, they had all kinds of great entertainment by some of the great performers that come here to Puerto Vallarta, like Paul Fracassi and Trinity and Cesar Medina and Alfonso Lopez and Elvis Morales and just so many, many more. There was all kinds of stuff being auctioned off in the silent auction. There was art by Francine Peters, who's a famous Vallarta artist, and that I hear fetched a pretty penny. So thanks, Francine. You're just great. And there were just so many silent auction items and gift certificates, and well, they're still totaling it all up. But here's what Danny says. He says, "We are still collecting and adding up the totals, but we think that we're between 250,000 and 300,000 pesos. We sold it out because we had 39 reservations that didn't show up. 57,000 pesos in ticket sales alone. So thank you, everyone." Wow, what is that? That's like 15 or $17,000 US. Wow, that is a lot of dough, you guys. So great job to everybody that made that happen. And as I promised, we're going to have an episode with Danny really soon, and we're going to discuss the upcoming season over at Act 2 and Stages. So stay tuned for that one. Now, as I announced last week, I'm planning another meet and greet at Kelly's Por Favor Cookhouse and Saloon in just a couple of weeks at JR's Meet and Greet, the one that he has every Tuesday. This one's going to be October 17th from 6:30 until whenever, okay? So just come and just stop by and let me know what you're doing in paradise. And if you happen to have a business and you want to give a pitch for yourselves and introduce yourself to my audience, well, come on. Let's chat. Come on down. So just remember that this show, you guys, it's rated clean in iTunes. And so I have a right to bleep you out, or at least, your profanities, okay? Anyway, I think I told you guys about the last meet and greet. It was a drunken mess. It was a brawl, you guys. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get some good audio this time. We did get a few, like I said, but not many. So if you're in town, we'll see you there. All right. So my friend Nancy Page works with Natasha Moraga, who is going to be tiling Lazaro Cardenas Park. Parque de los Azulejos. So Nancy announced to the public, actually this week, the launch of the fundraising for the park. And this is how her announcement goes. Natasha Moraga and Mosaico Vallarta are one of the most recognized names in the Puerto Vallarta art community with her signature mosaic style. She has just begun her dream project with her brother Daniel Moraga, creating another internationally recognized icon in Puerto Vallarta, El Parque de los Azulejos, or Tile Park PV. Now, Nancy shared more information regarding fundraising for the park, and it goes like this. Sponsorship tiles are available to purchase to leave your mark in this captivating piece of public art. You can commemorate this special project with memorial tiles, celebration tiles, performer tiles, business tiles, or celebration benches. Help us make our park even more beautiful with your contribution of a tile and a story. And you can do that at info@tileparkpv.com. That's info@tilepark, P as in Puerto, V as in Vallarta.com. So, you want to be looking for them on Facebook, and you want to like their page, and you can get all that info that you want about El Parque de los Azulejos on their Facebook page. So the way to do that is just go to El Parque de los Azulejos at facebook.com. How about that? So check it out. Make sure you buy a tile before they're all gone. Remember, I told you first. Make sure that you get your name or your pet's name, your kid's name in the park, okay? Make your mark in Puerto Vallarta, you guys. All right, let's get on with the show. I have 2 interviews with 2 American couples who are making a go at running a business in Puerto Vallarta. So the first couple is Kathleen and Todd, and they were actually looking to retire in Puerto Vallarta and just couldn't sit still. So they became business owners and entrepreneurs, and they create and sell what some of you might consider, at least I do, a staple, and that's ice cream and chocolates. The second couple, Miranda and Reid, are a younger couple who are starting their very first business. They're looking to make their mark brewing and serving what some others might consider a staple as well, and that is beer. So the first interview today is with Kathleen and Todd Atkins, and I'm going to let them tell their stories. They're new owners and operators of 2 businesses that aren't necessarily new to Puerto Vallarta. One is called Lix Ice Cream Shop, and the other is called Xocodiva Artisan Chocolate. So let's visit with these 2 lovely people and hear their stories. Kathleen and Todd Atkins. All right. Thanks for joining me, Todd and Kathleen. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wanted to get some new businesses on, and so you kind of have a new and old business, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But where are you from? What was your path to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, there's a long story and a short story. I'll try to give you the short story. We moved from Chicago. Todd's originally from Seattle, and I am from Illinois, but I've lived in different places in the States. And for several years, we've been looking around the world for that place that we want to retire to. And we really hadn't found a place until last May. We vacationed here in Puerto Vallarta, and that was my first time.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, yeah, my first time. And after 4 days, we knew we wanted to live here. And we were thinking of retiring until we, saw some businesses that we were interested in. And we thought, we don't want to be bored, so let's do something fun.
Oh, interesting. Wow. All right. So, that's not unusual. People come here and fall in love with the place right away. They determine that they're going to be here forever and all that stuff. All right. So with that in mind, and this is your first this is a hot time of year. And when you guys got here in,
December.
Right, things were different. So
Yes.
A little bit.
how are you getting along with the heat?
Air conditioner.
Okay. All right. Well said.
I don't mind it, and we have a pool at our house, so we're trying to take advantage of that as well.
Yeah. It's really not too bad. I mean, it's funny because we came from Chicago, so we're inside a lot the whole winter, and here we're inside more in the summer months.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Very interesting. A total reversal there.
Right.
Okay. So let's get to your business. Both Lix Ice Cream Parlor and Xocodiva were established businesses, right? I mean, they were there. They were loved by visitors. They were loved by the expat community. So tell us why you were interested in buying these properties. I mean, I understand you were retiring, but what made you choose those?
I don't know. When we were visiting here last May, we saw a sign on Xocodiva's business that said, "How would you like to own a business in Mexico?" And right away, we just thought, wow, something clicked that we would love to do that. When we moved, we weren't for sure that we were going to get the businesses, but we were determined that we were going to move anyway. And I guess, I'm obsessed with chocolate, so I went in there a couple times to get chocolate, and Todd loves ice cream, and so
doesn't?
we thought, yeah. So we just, and the products of these businesses are amazing, so we're really impressed with the quality and very proud to own these businesses.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we were fans of the product first, which made it much easier for us.
Yeah, well, we certainly love both those places. So, can you describe to my audience, because obviously this is an audio program, and if you want to see pictures of these places that we talk about, you go to my website at puertovallartatravelshow.com. And so, describe to me Lix. What is it like inside?
Well, Lix is actually a pretty small location. It's right on Basilio Badillo and next to Cafe Olla. And it's a room for about 5 people to come inside. We have quite a few flavors. I have 12 flavors of ice cream right now, and we're adding 6 more for the new season. So to add some more, but they're all artisan ice creams. I make all the ingredients myself, and then so they're all done by me and loving hand. And I actually have a couple helpers now. So
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. So I get all the fun jobs of both businesses. I get to make the stuff, and Kathleen deals with the headache stuff.
So there's also, besides the luxury unique ice cream that we also have good old-fashioned milkshakes, sundaes, and people die for our bananas. So we have bananas Some of them are filled. We have a special technique that we use, a secret, to fill the bananas with cherry, Nutella, salted caramel, peanut butter, or you could get a natural. And then they're dipped in our Belgian chocolate that we make for Xocodiva, and then pecans on top of that. So,
you're
besides...
killing me. I'm so hungry right now.
So I think
maybe we ought to stop. I mean, no.
Barry needs a moment here.
So I think one thing that people don't realize is that we have, we own both businesses, and they work hand in hand. So any chocolate that is in the ice cream, that covers the sundaes, that covers the bananas, that's all of our natural Belgian chocolate.
Wow. Okay, that's very cool. That's a great idea. Lix is on Basilio Badillo. What about the chocolate shop? Where is that?
Well, the chocolate shop, we actually have a production kitchen up on Achilles Cerdan near Insurgentes and Achilles Cerdan. And we've opened it up 1 day a week this last season. This coming season, we're going to open it up 2 days a week. So we're going to be open on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then we also just received notice that we're going to be at the Farmers Market in Old Town.
Cool.
So we're back in there, so we're very excited about that. And we're contemplating Thursday nights at the marina. Kathleen's trying to say maybe not. I'd like to be out there, but we'll see. So there's plenty of opportunities for people to come and buy our chocolates that way.
And we are trying to focus more on commercial as well. So selling to different retail shops in Puerto Vallarta and Bucerias and different areas.
Just saying, hey, local chocolate, check it out, right?
Right. And we do already have quite a few commercial accounts, but we would definitely like to expand that.
Neat. Okay. So ice cream making is a science, Todd. And, here's a guy, he's retired. He's kind of walked into the ice cream business. You are the ice cream maker, you just said. So how'd you learn that? How'd you learn that trick?
Well, the ice cream, the making of the ingredients that go into the ice cream was more of training with the previous owners, and they were amazing. They had created such great products, and they had a pretty good system in place for teaching me how to continue their tradition, and we're trying to expand on it a little bit this coming year, but I'm just not reinventing the wheel. I'm just doing what they did and continuing on with that because they had such a great product.
Absolutely did. And obviously do still. And
yes.
All right, but it's hot. We just talked about the heat. So tell me about how that affects your ice cream making. Does it get in the way? Does it, other than just keep everything cold?
No, the making of the ice cream it's not affected by the heat. What's problem is tourism is down, so and we needed a break too, so we went ahead and closed Lix for this month of September.
Sure.
And we're doing some remodeling, and Kathleen's a real designer, and she's doing some new flooring and paint, and we're recovering the little seats out front. So there's a lot of little things to do this time of year. We say we're closed, but we're still busy. So, but no, the heat doesn't really affect the ice cream, but chocolate's a whole different story.
Okay. All right. So who's the chocolate maker?
That would be me again.
All right. So let's talk about that.
He's the cook in the family.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the Chocolate Academy in Chicago, and so even before we knew we were going to get these businesses, I had gone and trained with them. But then also coming again, the previous owners did a great job of working with us and training me, and I've expanded. I've got some new flavors in the chocolate line already. And but the heat and the humidity is really tough. Our electric bill, we have to keep the room to about 18 degrees Celsius when we're making chocolate, and the humidity as well. We're running 2 dehumidifiers in the chocolate making room, so
sure.
they create heat, and then I got to cool it down even more. And so it got to the point where we just had to shut down because our electricity bill was more than our sales. So
wow, so that's quite a challenge you got there.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out a nice balance coming up for next year. We'll probably produce up until the middle to the end of July and then have to stop. It just gets too prohibitive to make chocolate, but we'll keep Lix open.
Okay, good. So that at least, so you're setting parameters, you're figuring out what you can do and how you can make it work without,
Right. Yeah,
without
we want to take care of the
electricity
locals.
drying you up.
Yeah, and we want to make sure the locals and the expats that are staying around still get to enjoy our products. But at some point, we have to. It's not that we don't want to; it's just we have to call it quits. It just gets cost prohibitive to continue producing.
Yeah, while many things here are much cheaper than the States, electricity is definitely not one of them.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So time to get one of those big, huge solar panels and throw it in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Now, look. I guess this applies to both candy and ice cream making. How is it getting your hands on the product that you need? Are you the ingredients, stuff like that? You can get all that you need in Vallarta, or do you need to import? Or
no, some things we do need to import. We have a lot of supplies, so there's probably between both businesses there are close to 300 different supplies, whether it's ingredients or packaging, all of those items. So many things we do have to import, but we try to get local as much as we can, especially for things like fresh fruit, because our ingredients are natural. So fruit, cacao beans, the coffee beans, things like that, the nibs for the cacao.
Sea salt from the Yelapa. And even like the passion fruit and the mangoes and all the things that we're using in there, we try to get local stuff. So,
but yeah, it's definitely not always easy. I think that getting our hands on product here is probably one of the most difficult parts about having a business here, because you do have to go to several different stores to try to find those products for the local things that we get. And sometimes a shop will have something and the next time you go, they don't. So then you're searching for that same thing in several different places.
Yeah, understood. Do you have flavors that appeal to the local community, the Mexican palate, for example, like chilies, mangoes, stuff like that?
We definitely do. I would say chili, mango, which is also local, passion fruit, which is locally grown. We've also understand that Mexicans love cinnamon. We have a cinnamon chocolate. In mango and passion fruit, they're both in our chocolate and our ice cream. And I guess some other things that we want to do is, I haven't launched it yet, but I've purchased some beautiful Mexican boxes that I want to, be as a gift box for our chocolate.
Neat. Cool. Todd, do you introduce hot chilies into your chocolate?
Yeah, that's one of the things Kathleen was mentioning. We do have a chili chocolate that it's the previous one was a little bit smoky, so I think I'm going to push it and make it a little spicier coming up this next season.
Man, let me know, man. I'll get over there and check that out. The hotter the better for me,
Are you going to be our taste tester?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Throw it down.
We have so many volunteers for that.
I know. You probably have a big line out in front of your place for that. I don't doubt that for 1 minute. What would you say are your biggest surprises that you found running the business? Is it the electricity, do you think? Or what do you think? It could be good or bad, right? So we could talk about good or bad.
Well, we knew that the electricity was going to be high. I wasn't anticipating it being that much, but the previous owners didn't really produce into August and September themselves, and now I know why.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of surprises. I think the good is we see more opportunities in Puerto Vallarta for business. I have a business background and was in the food industry in Chicago, and so I just think there's so many opportunities and areas where you can help other businesses and that new businesses are even needed here in Puerto Vallarta. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I should say so.
I would say one of the biggest surprises too is the method that for banking and bookkeeping here and expensing things, it's not easy.
Oh, really?
The process is a lot more difficult than I imagined coming here. So it is very time consuming.
Right. And you've obviously you have employees, you've got help now.
Yes.
So you have to learn that whole section of the business too, because there are they're very precise as to what you do and when you pay, and even when they're not working, sometimes when you pay, and yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's more complicated here as well, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so too, right? Because you got to find out from somebody. So what do? You go find yourself an attorney, or you find yourself,
right.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. Well, we have an accountant, and he's also an attorney, but he knows all the rules, especially all the labor laws and all the specifics for accounting. So I would definitely not want to figure all that stuff out myself, especially because we can't speak Spanish and we want to make sure we follow the rules. So we rely on him for what to do and what not to do.
Perfect. Yeah. Good. As well as anybody who opens a business in Mexico or anywhere else.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Should
right.
too. Okay, you guys have had a lot of time to check out food places, right? You don't just eat chocolate and well, maybe you do. I don't know. And ice cream. Okay, you do. But let's do a little favor for some of my listeners. And can you tell us some of your favorite places to eat?
Oh, definitely. One of your previous guests, actually, Trey Piatti's. We've been to Hanan's place many times. Divino Dante, Trio, The Iguana, Hacienda San Daniel, Bonita Kitchen, Barcelona's Tapas, El Barracuda, Sushi Tsunami, Mi Cafe, Bravo. Boy, we could. I mean, the list is crazy.
And there are places we haven't even been to yet because we've only been here since December and we have been working quite a bit. So we have not been to Café d'Artiste yet, which I know we need to try that. Mm-hmm. La Cigale.
And just a lot of little, even small local places. I mean, it's just amazing. You can walk around our kitchen even and grab a great tacos off the food trucks.
Oh, yeah. The local street tacos and different little restaurants. Our kitchen is near La Ronda, which is great. And also Eat at David's. Around the corner is Encanto's. I mean, it's just, there's so many good places to eat. It's crazy.
So when you say Encanto's, there's an Encanto and there's the Encantos, right? So there's the Encanto, which is theater, and then there's the little restaurant that's right up on a Calle Cerdan, just right up the street from you guys. Have you been in that place?
No, because I only recently saw that, actually.
It's teeny tiny. You got to go in there. It's probably closed right now, but it's really cute and very elegant.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to trying that. I mean, it's just amazing how many good restaurants there are here, including just the street tacos.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, you've named some really great places. And so everybody listen up, okay? I'll mark those in my show notes just in case you didn't hear them. Go to my show notes, check them out. What kind of advice would you give to a first-time traveler to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I think the biggest thing I would say is stay out of the all-inclusive resorts because you tend to stay in the resort and you don't really experience Puerto Vallarta. And I think the second thing is take the time and do a tour, a walking tour, a food tour, any of those kind of tours that go around town and show you the sights. And there's so many great tours. And Kathleen's got other ideas.
Well, I mean, all of those, definitely we did a walking tour last May with Sandra Seska, and she was amazing. And I know there's a lot of food tours that we now want to take advantage of and take ourselves. There's theater, which I love. So check out the theater here. There's great beaches everywhere. The botanical gardens. There's just so much to do here. Definitely, I would recommend, like Todd said, stay in the Old Town or Centro and just experience the city, which is what Puerto Vallarta is so amazing for, I believe.
Agreed. Yeah, and walk around. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, it's very safe here. You never have to worry. I mean, that's the thing that I think the biggest fear is they don't understand that it's safe here. So despite the media back home.
Exactly. And, you just have to take precautions like you would anywhere else. I mean, you don't throw everything into the wind. You just want to make sure that, just remember that it's okay. Have a good time. Don't get drunk. Don't get drunk and fall around in the street. Okay.
We're from Chicago. It's a little rougher in Chicago than it is. here,
Yeah, listen, I'm in LA, okay? Here we go.
Yeah.
So let's just,
Yeah.
we can all compare horror stories if we want. No, don't
Exactly.
do it. Don't do it.
Don't go there.
All right, so talking about horror stories, you, obviously you're alive. I know that you just had a medical procedure here in Puerto Vallarta, Todd.
Yes.
So what do you think about the medical facilities there and your treatment, your care?
Well, I have to say I was extremely impressed with the care that I got, and also the hospital themselves are very modern and clean, and just everything you would expect from the States, and even better. I think that I shouldn't say that because my daughter's a nurse, but I think the nursing staff even cared more here. I never had a medical procedure back in the States. I've never been in the hospital, and so this is my first experience.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to it.
Yeah. So I had a double hernia operation. So
really, wow.
Yeah.
Is that from all that chocolate making, or what happened? There?
Yeah.
No. We won't go there.
Lifting all that chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So everything went well.
Everything went well. I spent one night in the hospital and home the next day, and drove Kathleen nuts the rest of the week.
Yeah, right on. I know how that goes. I know how when you're released from the hospital, it's like, get me this, get me that, please. Oh, please.
Yeah.
A couple of pleases.
Yeah.
There. Be nice,
Yeah.
dear.
It was fun.
Yeah, I believe it. There's a lot of love there. I can, you guys, that's okay. It's all good. All right. Is there anything I missed? Is there something that you want to add?
I mean, one thing I guess I would want to add about our products is that we, again, we try to maintain the same great quality, but also Todd and I are both, we love a challenge and we love to improve things. And, so we're always working on new flavors, and we love art. So some of the chocolates we are now coloring with different artsy colors. Cool. So that's, I guess, one thing about our products.
Very nice. Very cool. And where are you on the web?
We are, we're working on our website.
Oh,
so
okay.
Those aren't live yet, but
you have like a Facebook page, or?
We do have a Facebook page for both, as well as an Instagram.
Okay,
yep.
So I'll link you up on Instagram and Facebook. So I'll have those links for you guys if you want to check out Lix and
Xocodiva.
Thank you. I wanted you to say it.
The X is like a SH.
That's right. It's spelled funny, you guys. It's like, it's like the Aztecs do it. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
And, and that's where it's all from, right? That's where the chocolate came from, those Aztecs.
That's right. It actually means food of the gods.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
See? Look at that.
You learn something new, Dave.
All right. Very good. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on my show today, and I wish you both the best of luck. We'll see you next time I'm in Vallarta.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so very. We really appreciate it. We also want to thank everybody that's given us such a warm welcome. It's a great place here. So
yeah, they love you. They love you there. They do. Serious.
They should, with chocolate and ice cream.
I know.
We have met lots of great people for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What a great town. Yep.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Well, you guys are great people, and just best of luck to you both.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Our next interview is with Miranda and Reid Mortimer. Now, I first met Reid and Miranda at the meet and greet back in May. That's the meet and greet where half of the interviews were not good for human consumption, remember? But the conversation that I had with Reid and Miranda wasn't a drunken one, although, if you remember that interview that I had with the PV Kid with Jeff Musto, the one that was at that same meet and greet, there was a barking dog. Remember the barking dog in the background? Well, that barking dog belonged to Reid and Miranda. How about that? So I think that barking dog actually got into both of these interviews. How about that? We'll find out. Anyway, during that week, I would bump into both Reid and Miranda walking along the Malecon or sitting in a restaurant. And so anyway, this young couple was opening a brewery on the south side of town, and they wanted to sit down and tell us about their new place. So they did. The name of the brewery is Monzon, which means monsoon in Spanish. So after this first clip, that we're going to listen to. This was the one in May. We're going to go back to Puerto Vallarta, and we're going to see how they're doing. Now, the second clip I'm going to play is okay. It isn't the best audio, but I would say that the content is great. So that's why we're going to go for it, okay? So anyway, let's go back 6 months to the meet and greet at Kelly's Por Favor in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. All right, we're still at Por Favor Saloon and Cookhouse here in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and I am now joined by Reid and Miranda Mortimer. And thanks for coming on, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
All right, these two are getting ready to open up a new brewery here in Puerto Vallarta, and it's going to be called a Monzon Brewing Company. And wow, thanks for coming on, you guys.
No, thank you.
You haven't opened up yet. What's your plan to open?
Well, that's all up to other people, but we're hoping to open by the end of this month, which is May, or the first week of June.
Right now, our tanks have made it to Mexico, so we are currently waiting for customs to approve everything and get it through to Puerto Vallarta, and then once that happens, we can get them installed and have our licensing approved, and then we'll be open for business.
Yahoo! All right, because there aren't a whole lot of brewers here in Puerto Vallarta. Are you? Let me ask you. Well, let's start by asking you, where are you from?
Mm-hmm. So we actually met in Seattle, Washington. That's where we're from. We got married there. We grew up there. We went to school there. Shout out to the UW and the Huskies. But we then moved to Mumbai, India.
Wow.
Which I'm a teacher by training, and we had a lovely opportunity to go there, and I taught there for 2 years, and Reid actually learned to brew there.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
On a commercial scale, yeah.
No way. They have breweries in India?
Not very many, you know.
Oh my gosh.
It's not really a beer culture, but that's what brought us here. Is we could see that that Mexico was such a beer culture, and Puerto Vallarta was a place we loved. We'd been here on vacation together, and we said, why not bring some more beer here?
And the great thing about Puerto Vallarta is there's a lovely beer scene here already. There's people that, you come on vacation, you love the Corona, you love the Pacifico, but also Los Muertos Brewery has a lovely gentleman by the name of Connor who just does amazing work here. El Terrible, who does a very small scale and is at many different restaurants and bars here, has some really great beers in the bottle. And then Pancho Furter is just been for a couple months open now and has some really great house specialties beers. And it's just a really exciting scene right now in Mexico, and especially in Puerto Vallarta, because there's a lot of people, really amazing people here, and a lot of people who enjoy beer.
Okay.
Right.
So hops and barleys and stuff like that, is that easy to come by here?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there are less breweries in Mexico than there are in our state of Washington back in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of craft breweries.
There's a lot of craft breweries in
So
Washington.
much.
It's amazing. But more and more, there's businesses supporting craft breweries, doing advertising for craft breweries, doing importation for craft breweries, growing raw materials for craft breweries. So we're really lucky to come here at a time where barley and hops and yeast are very easy to find. And we're getting the same quality ingredients that you can find in the US or Canada or Germany or the Czech Republic. It's pretty incredible.
Wow. All right. Is it locally grown?
Not a whole lot locally grown.
Where's it have to come
There
from?
is some locally grown barley. It's pretty hard to come by. But brewing, unfortunately, is not the most green of endeavors. You have to know when you have a beer that a lot went into it. However, it also means that the quality is the same the world over. When you go to Germany and have the best German Pilsners, you're getting the same ingredients as a good Mexican Pilsner. And that's what we're here to prove, is that we can make beers that stand up to world quality standards right here in Puerto Vallarta.
Well, and for us at Monzon, local is really important. And while we can't necessarily grow a Cascade hop here in the soils in Mexico, we can provide food that is locally grown. And that's a really big part of our mission, is making sure that the ingredients we use are as local as possible and that fresh as possible, and just really good quality ingredients that go into everything that we do.
Excellent. Okay, so with that in mind, you're going to be serving food?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to drink without some food?
Well, I know.
right.
Well, you know, people throw peanuts at you sometimes. And that's about all you
no,
get,
we
but-
want more than that.
Okay.
No, we're going to have some mostly modern Mexican food is what we like to call it. The stuff you're used to all over Puerto Vallarta, but with a little bit of modernization.
Local,
good
fresh,
bar fare.
quality, but also if you want to get some tater tots, sure, come on by and we'll give you some tater tots.
All right, cool.
Which I don't think you can find tater tots in Mexico so far. So I think we're gonna
I don't know. We'll go down to Soriana and see if no.
corner the market on that one.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's all right. So you're going to be serving food, and obviously you're going to be doing craft beers. Yes.
Yep.
And now with the tanks that you've got coming in, how many are you going to be able to produce at a time?
So the brewery will have. It'll be what's called a 7-barrel brewery, which one barrel is about 120 liters, give or take. Mm-hmm. So every batch of beer will be 7 times 120, which is about 800 liters. Excuse me. So for every batch of beer, it'll be about 800 liters, and we will have 7 tanks to hold the beer in. So we're gonna have 7 tanks of our own beer, and then 10 taps. So another 3 taps that will be either guest taps or experiments we've done that will be interesting, fun, unique beers that maybe we don't want to make 800 liters of. Maybe not something people want to drink 800 liters of, who knows?
Right.
But something that's fun and interesting. So
Good.
should be refreshing.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Well, this is very exciting. And now you are going to be opening up during the slow season. You do understand that, right?
Yeah.
So actually, it probably will help because you'll be able to get yourself a start and get your feet wet, probably, and work out any kinks that you have to begin with, right?
That's what we're hoping.
And I think that's one of the really wonderful things about Puerto Vallarta is it has a high season for sure, but there's also a lot of people that come during the slower season that are maybe not just from certain parts of the world, but from all over. There's a lot of British people that come and vacation here. There's a lot of European people, a lot of Mexican people, and we want to appeal to every crowd. And so it's really exciting for us to open, and as you say, during the slower season, having a smaller scale, but also to appeal to a larger crowd is really exciting for us.
Excellent. All right. So tell everybody where they can find Monzon Brewing Company.
You can find us on Venustiano Carranza, number 239, just next to El Torito Sports Bar, a little closer to the beach. And
We can
hope to see you in June.
You can also find us online. We're at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those lovely applications that people are using at Monzon Brewing.
Okay, monzonbrewing.com.
Yep.
Well, all right. Reid and Miranda, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, that was Reid and Miranda back in May, 6 months ago. Now, it's 6 months later. We are in October. So let's find out what's happening at Monzon Brewery 6 months later. Okay, I am right now with Miranda and Reid Mortimer. They are joining us now from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and I happen to be in California today. Thanks, you guys, for coming on and giving me a couple more minutes of your time.
Thank you so much for having us back, Barry.
Yeah, it's good to catch up.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm calling you. I just played a conversation that we had back in May. And in May, you said you're going to be opening in around, I don't know, like July or something like that. So We're 6 months later. What's happening at Monzon 6 months later?
Well, it's almost laughable listening to that playback because things did not go as expected, and we hit a lot of hurdles, which I mean we should have expected. But here we are, 6 months later, and we are open. So,
but it was not July.
No, it wasn't July.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I kind of was looking at a Facebook post I got from my buddy Kevin, and he had his first pint. So I know it wasn't July. When did you open?
We actually opened our doors August 4th.
Okay, so tell me about what happened. Why the late start? What went on there?
There were just all sorts of surprises that I don't even know if it was our naivety or that we should have expected it. But the biggest of the surprises was our tank delivery.
And the tanks were a mess. We worked with a company that imported for us, and we thought when we told them what we were importing, and they said, "Yeah, we'll help you deliver everything." And when we asked them, "You mean the equipment and you'll give us a forklift, you'll give us everything?" And they said, "Of course." So imagine our surprise when we got a call at 6:30 in the morning that there was a semi-truck parked outside of our location with thousands of pounds of steel tanks and no forklift. And not only that, but the gentleman driving the truck didn't even have a key to the back of the truck.
So he we said, "Well, how are we supposed to get in here? What are we supposed to do?" And he just shrugged and said, "I'm going to go sleep. Wake me up when you've got it unloaded." And Miranda and I were looking at each other going, "There's no way. I mean, this is This is impossible." But then our manager, Jose, showed up, and Jose said, with the can-do attitude that we find all over Puerto Vallarta and all over Mexico, he said, "No, we can get this done today." And I said, "There's no way. There's thousands of pounds of tanks. We don't even have a key." So we went and borrowed a hacksaw from the construction site across the street and hacksawed the lock off and went from there.
We made some phone calls to some friends, and Jose made some phone calls to some people. And, within 2 hours, we had movement. It was incredible.
Wow. So all the friends and all of these people came to your aid.
That's right, yeah.
We had people unloading very heavy things. We had people buying us pizza. We had people just coming by and cheering us up. It was really incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's part of why we landed here in Vallarta, is that's just the sense of community is so strong here.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, not only that, but I know in the end, they're expecting beer, you guys.
I think that might be true partially.
I mean, I know Puerto Vallarta pretty well. I'm pretty sure I know what they're thinking about. All right, so we're talking about beer, and you're opening. My buddy Kevin, he said that you served him the very first pint that came out of your tanks. So tell us about that beer.
So that was our Maybe Mañana. It's a imperial salted chocolate stout. It's 10.7%, and we actually only brewed a small batch, 2 kegs of it, thinking it's summer in Vallarta. People are used to light, fizzy beer, and no one's going to want a big, heavy stout. And lo and behold, we sold out of it in 5 days.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us about what kind of beers you have going right now?
So right now we've got 4 beers on tap. We've got, the first one is our lightest beer. It's called Sol a Sol, which means sun to sun. So it's an all-day beer, light in alcohol, 4.9%, and even lighter in flavor. It's a wheat beer, and just very light, and we actually throw about 6 kgs of Jamaica into it at the end so that it gets that sweet tart flavor, even a little purple hue.
So what is Jamaica?
Jamaica is, in English, hibiscus. It's that flower that they use to make the Jamaica agua fresca that you see all over the place.
The
here.
really deep red one that you see at different stands.
All the juice stands have, yeah.
Ah, very interesting. Cool. So you're using these local kind of ingredients and making your beer. Good for you.
Exactly, yeah. We're really inspired by not only the cuisine, but the fresh fruit and seasonal items that you can find here in Vallarta. So it's going to be interesting and fun adventure and challenge to kind of incorporate these into our beers.
Okay, so that was a light beer. What else you got?
So another light beer that we have is the Kalmate Kolsch, and that is a ale lager hybrid. It's a German beer, and it's just very clean, crisp, refreshing, and it has that little hint of banana flavor from the German yeast that we use.
Okay. And you say you've got two others that you got going?
Yeah, the next beer that we brewed, each one of these was brewed like 5 or 6 days apart, just so as we're figuring out our brew system and we're kind of adapting and changing. So the next one that we brewed was called the Lower Perel Pale Ale. So it's a standard American-style pale ale, and it's named Lower Perel for our time in India. Lower Perel was the neighborhood that the brewery was in that I worked at, and it just is a nod to all our friends back in India and all the great times Miranda and I had in Mumbai. So that one's been very popular. A lot of people are looking for something much different than what they can find around Mexico and Vallarta especially, but still not looking for something too hefty or challenging on the palate. And that's what this one is. It's a mildly bitter, a little hoppy, so you get some of that like citrus and floral aromas, but not too challenging.
Cool. All right. And so there's a fourth?
Yeah, the last one is our most recent one. It's the Cabeza de Cono. It's our IPA, and it is 8.1%. So it's definitely the heaviest in alcohol that we have right now. And we use a lot of the New Zealand hops in there that give it the tropical fruit flavors. So passion fruit, mango, grapefruit, all of those really come out prominently from the hop flavors that we add.
Nice. And so how is the response to your beers?
So far, so good. People are really enjoying them, and we're happy to say we've got a fair number of regulars and people really excited about what we've come out with and what we're soon to come out with, what's going to be brewed next. So the reception from Vallarta just in general has been so welcoming. We've had business owners come in and other bars, business owners come in and support us. We've had other restaurants come in and support us. And people are just excited about what's happening.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's nice to see that people are coming by and checking you out and like drinking your beer. That's really cool.
Yeah.
We like it too.
Yeah, I bet you do. So with the beer comes the food. Tell us a little bit about what you're serving right now.
So right now we have a kind of an off-season menu with just some pub favorites and some standard, I would say, kind of bar Mexican food. Our most popular dish right now is our fish tacos. People are going crazy. We've had a couple people come in like almost every day, five days during the week for the fish tacos because we have them on special for lunch.
Uh-huh.
But our philosophy on the food is the same as the beer. We want it to be fresh, seasonal, interesting, and we're really focusing on that flair that Mexico and Puerto Vallarta has to offer. And our chef is really doing a great job of understanding, kind of taking traditional and mixing it with the modern.
Our head chef is named Lix, and we're actually working right now on some dishes for expanding our menu, and we're really excited because she's thinking about things such as we're probably going to call it a Vallarta po' boy, which is it'll be al pastor shrimp with pineapple and all the al pastor sauce on there, but on a torta sandwich. So it'll be kind of like a Louisiana meets Mexico fusion with fresh tomato, onions, lettuce, and some guacamole on there. So that's just an example of some of the like fresh and different food that we're really looking to have on our menu.
Yeah, and I'm hungry. Thank you for all that. You're making me drool over here. That sounds wonderful. All right, cool. So tell us about business. How has that been? It's slow season. It's the summer. So are you keeping busy?
So my background is in teaching. Reid brewed while we were in India, but neither of us have ever ran a restaurant or operated a brewery. So opening in the slower season has actually been really, really good for us. We are learning every day. It feels like this is kind of our training wheel time. And we are, like Rita saying, we have regulars. We have people coming back. We have, Puerto Vallarta is so supportive and people are coming through. They're excited to see us. And we're not packed house every day, but we've had a couple of events that have allowed us to see what that looks like and really learn and practice before we get to that point.
Very good. Yes.
The other blessing to being open newly in the slow season is Miranda and I are here every day. We're standing behind the bar. We're serving the tables. And so the people that are coming in time and again, the regulars, we actually are getting to get to know them. And, it's been fun we're not going to be able to do that in the high season. So making those connections now has been really important to us.
Good point. So what have been your, I guess your biggest challenges were more of getting set up, or have you found other challenges as you've come along?
No, I would say the biggest challenge thus far has been getting all the brewing equipment set up. We're, like I said, trying to make things work that are imported from the U.S., from China, and then made here in Mexico. So getting all these different machines to work in concert has been
a lot of problem solving. Constant problem solving.
Yeah, that's been our biggest challenge. And then, like Miranda said, we're just right now we're really relishing that we have the time to problem solve, that it's not the high season, and that we're getting to learn the ropes. Because I should have said this, but we've never run a kitchen or a bar or a restaurant or a brewery before. So this has been challenging but rewarding.
Trial by fire.
Trial by fire, that's right.
Man, well, you guys are definitely doing the trial by fire thing. And I have to take my hat off to you two. You are trailblazers, that's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Have there been any real big surprises for you guys?
I think just like we were saying earlier, the biggest surprise has been that we made all these light beers first, thinking that's where the palate is in Mexico and in Vallarta, kind of trained by these mass-produced lagers. But that's not what people are looking for at all. And we have people walk in and say, "Is the stout ready yet?" And when we say no, they say, "Oh, fine, I guess I'll have this beer." But they're really waiting for those darker, heavier, challenging beers. And that's been really surprising.
So they are starved for craft beer over in Puerto Vallarta. It sounds like
that's true.
All right, so that's good. That's a good tip. Now you know where to go.
Yeah, if we could have done it over again, I think we would have brewed our beers in a different order.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, but now you have time, right? Because you've got the high season coming on, so you'll be ready for that.
That's right.
I was interviewing Adrian Tacano back in May. He told me that you had hired him to paint a mural in your brewery. What is it of?
Yeah, first I just have to say, Adrian is probably one of the nicest people we have had the pleasure of working with. He actually came in and saved us because we had hired someone else who came on a bus, took a 16-hour bus ride, came here, left 6,000 pesos worth of spray paint, and never came back, which was a huge bummer. But we reached out to Adrian and we said, we have this giant wall. We know the tanks are coming within a couple weeks, so we need it to happen right now. Can you help us? And he said, of course. And he worked with us. We really wanted to do, so our name is Monzon, which means monsoon. So we really wanted to play with a storm theme in the back behind the tanks. So he painted a 26-foot tall mural of an octopus grabbing onto a keg, coming out of these just crazy waters. And he actually incorporated our logo of the clouds into the top of the mural and the side of the mural.
I gotta get over there and see it. Okay, that sounds
good.
I
was gonna say we could explain it till we're blue in the face, but you just have to see it.
You have to see it. It's
the sheer immensity.
And pictures don't do it justice. No. It just is. It's incredible. The detail is, it's mind blowing, and he did it in 4 days.
All right. Well, I'll have I'll have a picture of it in my show notes of this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, you guys. So come and take a look at it. or just stop into Monzon and have some beer and take a look at it yourself. All right, so you've had a couple of fundraisers. Actually, one of them the other night for Mexico earthquake relief. So good for you guys. What was the event like? How'd it go?
Yeah, so at Monzon, we are really committed to being a part of this community. We love Puerto Vallarta so much, and we think our beer should be about more than just drinking. It should have a purpose. And so we are really committed to giving back to the community. So after the earthquakes happened, Reid and I looked at each other and we said, we have to do something. We're not necessarily in a position where we have a lot of money that we can give or support that we can give, but we do have this awesome venue that we could use to raise money and to raise awareness. So we, on Tuesday, that second earthquake happened, and we that day decided we were going to do it, and all of our amazing staff rallied together with us, along with some other really incredible businesses in the community. And we actually raised 30,300 pesos for the relief efforts. And our bank matched it, so it's actually 60,600 that went towards the donations.
Wow, and the dog likes that too. Good for you guys.
The dog was not good for the fundraiser. There was we had the Tres Cuartos here, one of Vallarta's, I would say, best cover bands doing music than they did. I don't know how they made it through that. They did a full 3-hour set without stopping once.
Oh my gosh. Well, wow. How cool is that?
And then on top of that, I have to give them one more shout out. On top, these guys are awesome, and you can find them on Facebook. But on top of that, they donated all the tips that they received to the cause as well.
And they played for free.
And they played for free. So
give me
truly awesome.
Give me the name of the group.
They're called the Tres Cuartos, and instead of the S on Tres, it's a Z.
On both.
Okay.
Yeah, on the end of both words. And they're truly awesome.
Cool. Well, I'll put their information too in the blog post as well. All right. Very cool. Well, it sounds like you guys are really fitting into the community. It sounds like you are, you're going full force. So good for you guys, and you're ready for and you're ready. You're ready for the big time for the.
We sure hope so. We're gearing up right now. I mean, that's why we're closed on Mondays currently, is just so that we can really be prepared. Middle of, or the end of this month, middle of next month, when things really start to go crazy, we'll be ready.
Good. All right. So with that in mind, you guys are real hard workers. This is your day off. I've got you on your day off, you guys. So what do you do on your day off besides talk to me?
I don't know what a day off is, Barry. We're not sure. Okay. No, we work. I mean, we're very happy to be here giving our all to what we're doing. But, it's Puerto Vallarta. When we're not at work, we love to go to the beach. We have 2 dogs, as you've heard. We love to walk them along the Malecon. And obviously we love beer. So we like to go to other places and enjoy some beer.
Oh, that sounds like fun. That sounds like a good time on your days off when you're not working your rear ends off. Good for you.
That's why we all moved down here. It's just the pace of life, and there's something to do every night of the week if you want to, or you can just hang out on your roof terrace and watch the sunset.
Yeah. Okay. So when you get out of town, though, what's your favorite beach? Where do you go?
Because when we moved here, we moved with the express purpose of opening a brewery. We've been pretty tied to Vallarta so far, but especially before the heat started coming in, we would get out to Boca and hike the Boca to Las Animas right along the beach the entire way, once a week usually. Yeah. And that's about as far as we've gotten, except for when we were living on the other coast of Mexico. But the beaches are much better.
Yeah. And that's just such a really lovely hike, because at the end of it, you could go get some food and a shot of tequila if you want.
Yep, I love that hike. It's a great hike. Beautiful, beautiful scenery the whole way, and just beaches and just lovely. Okay, good. You guys know your beaches. You know where to go. All right, so let's talk a little bit. You've had a little bit of time in Vallarta, so besides Monzon, what places do you like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I know you're not open for breakfast at Monzon. You're open just for lunch and dinner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We really, as small business owners ourselves, we really believe in supporting other small businesses. So I think most of our favorite places are just that. They're family owned. You see the owners there. And I think I can think of 3 off the top of my head that we really, really love. One is Lolita's in Cinco de Diciembre, and they have an amazing breakfast, especially their chilaquiles. We really like those. For lunch, there's a little place about 2 blocks up from us at Monzon called Figueroa's, and they have burritos, they're just amazing burritos for about 50 to 60 pesos.
They're like California style burritos. It's something you can't really find
and
a lot of places.
It's a lot of food.
Really
Reed and I can split that, and it's still plenty. It comes with rice and beans and all the fixings inside of it.
Nice.
And we actually have, because we are trying to balance and not be at work 24/7. We have a Friday afternoon ritual, and we walk over to Tacos Revolution. And the owner there, Raul, is a really nice guy. He also has an amazing craft beer list of different beer all over Mexico. So he has great food and beer to go along with it. So that's one of probably our top 3 favorite places in Vallarta.
We generally, because we are at work so often, we try to cook dinner, even if that means cooking at midnight or 1 a.m, just because prior to our life as business owners and brewers, one of the things we really enjoyed was cooking. So we try to stretch that, that creative muscle whenever we can. So we don't really get out for dinner very often, but we do get out for nightcaps sometimes at places like Bar La Playa or Devil's Bar, are 2 of our top spots.
So what, Bar La Playa and Devil's Bar?
Yeah.
Devil's Bar,
yeah. Cool. So you have any favorite like real hole in the walls? I know Figueroa's is kind of a hole in the wall, but any others that you can think of?
I think Lolita's is along that line too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lolita's
ours
is
is funny because the hole in the walls are actually just they're not hole in the walls at all. They're fully exposed taco stands. So we spend our fair share of time at little taco stands, especially down here in the romantic zone. Yeah.
Well, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that.
No.
That's for sure. All right. So I'm going to ask you something I ask everybody that's spent a little bit of time in Puerto Vallarta, and that is, what kind of advice would you give to a first-time visitor coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Do whatever you want. Vallarta is so amazing because if you want to come here and hike every day, you can. If you want to come here and sit on the beach every day, you can. If you want to do adventure sports, if you want to go on a boat, if you want to do scuba diving. I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on. It's pretty endless of the possibilities here in Vallarta. And I think the happiest people that I see on vacations are the one that just say, this is what I like to do, and I'm going to enjoy that. And if I spend 5 days on the beach, I'm spending 5 days on the beach because that's fun.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that don't let yourself get trapped in what the brochures say you should do. We have people walk in here and just say, hey, when I go on vacation, I like to find good beer and cocktails, and we can give them a list of places to go. And then we have people come in here and, one of the pair likes beer and cocktails and the other one wants to do adventure sports, and we can point them in the direction to go for that too. There's so much to do. And that's, again, part of why we moved here and why we enjoy living here is you can go out and see live music every night. There are the art walks. So, just open up and get out of the normal routine.
And if you're someone that likes to research, it's certainly easy to find information about Puerto Vallarta and what to do online. Or
I've heard there's a really great podcast on that.
Yeah. I heard about that podcast.
There's also, everyone here is just so friendly. You can I think our first time we came here, we just asked all the servers at the restaurants we went to, what should we do? And followed their advice, and we really couldn't go wrong.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. Yeah. Seek out people that know, and that's always fun too. Wow. Okay. So tell everybody how they can find Monzon. Tell everybody, where you're located and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So to find us online, we have a website, monzonbrewing.com, or you can go to facebook.com/monzonbrewing. And it's also, we're on Twitter and Instagram with the same Monzon Brewing handle.
Okay.
And obviously, we are in Vallarta, so you can always find us on stuff like Yelp and TripAdvisor.
Okay, so the location is?
Our physical address is Venustiano Carranza 239, which is just at the intersection of El Vallarta and Venustiano Carranza. one block from the Parque Lázaro Cárdenas and right next door to the downtown mainstay El Torito.
El Torito. Yeah. All right, cool. Is there anything else you wanted to add? I mean,
no, I mean, not really. We're excited to meet all of the people who do live in Vallarta part-time, so we're really looking forward.
Or come and travel.
Yeah, or just come and travel. We're really looking forward to that. And if you have a favorite beer style, drop us a line, and we'll see if we can get that on tap.
Cool. All right. Well, maybe they'll hook you guys up. You never know. Cool. So you know where to find them. I'll have all their information, all the contact info for all you listeners to check them out. And when you're in Puerto Vallarta, stop on by, say hi to Reid and Miranda, and tell them that you heard about them on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm sure they'll get a real good kick out of that, right?
Yes. Of course, yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, thank you both for your time so much.
Barry, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for dealing with our noisy monster puppies.
No worries. Thank you again.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. Well. Thank you very much, Reid and Miranda. Make sure that you have them on your list of must-visits when you go to Puerto Vallarta, and have a pint over there at Monzon. And check out their food, of course, and Adrian's very cool mural. I want to thank Todd and Kathleen Atkins. You two are just fantastic. And make sure, you guys, that you stop by Lix and have a cone or a frozen banana or a shake, something nice and cold and frosty for that warm evening when you're walking hand in hand down Basilio Badillo. So nice, so romantic, and so yummy. I'm getting hungry. Oh, well. Well, anyway, that should do it for this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His expertise and his on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else to do it. So really, just do it. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes if you would. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Now remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode that I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to places that we talk about, the pictures of the people and all that other great stuff and more right there in my blog posts and in my show notes, which I create for each and every episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already, all right? All right. So thanks to Miranda and Reid Mortimer and Kathleen and Todd Atkins for coming on the show and talking about sweets and suds. I have pictures of Monzon. I have pictures of Lix and Xocodiva, as well as links to find them in the show notes of this episode, like I said, as well as all the places that they all talked about. They're right here in my show notes of this episode at www.puertovallarte.com. PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for all of you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino interno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.